All right, let's talk about something that's been blowing up my feed and yours too, probably, especially if you're on TikTok. We're living in this bizarre moment where you can open TikTok and see someone having what looks like a full-blown psychotic break. And instead of everyone on the internet quietly looking away, we're watching. We're duetting, we're stitching it even, and we're making memes about it. Hi, I am your host, Rachel, with Perfectly Imperfect Me 365. And today I want to talk about something that is really, really concerning. These viral breakdowns. And it's when psychosis becomes a spectacle. Now, right now, a lot of that conversation is happening around one woman on TikTok. Her name is Kendra. She reports or claims that she's a life coach, a former yoga instructor, an ADHD tutor, and lately she has actually become the center of a massive TikTok saga about falling in love with her psychiatrist. Now, I'm not actually here to diagnose Kendra. I'm not here to gossip. I'm here to talk about what happens when the internet becomes an audience for someone's mental health crisis and how our clicks, our comments, and our just watching for entertainment mindset can actually make it worse. So if you've missed the backstory or you're not on TikTok, here's a short version. Well, the shortest version of a 30+ part TikTok series. So Kendra went to a psychiatrist for ADHD treatment. Somewhere along the line, she developed strong emotional feelings for him and feelings that she claims, and this is what her whole part is all about, were encouraged and reciprocated in complicated ways by the psychiatrist. She talks about blurred boundaries, emotional manipulation, and what sounds like years of this back and forth dynamic. But here's the thing. That's from her version. I want you to remember if you haven't seen it or you don't know who I'm talking about. But somewhere in this spiral that she has, she starts to introduce Henry. Henry is what she calls ChatGPT. I'm not kidding. She's using an AI tool as an emotional sounding board, almost like it's a person in her life. Her videos are long, they're detailed, and if you've worked in mental health, some of what she says starts to set off alarms. I've only seen one or two of her videos. I have seen a lot of other people, therapists included, making TikTok stitches and duets or other videos about her. And the thought patterns that she starts to present, the pacing, the tangents, it's not just like a story time. It's literally someone unraveling in real time. And here's the thing. TikTok eats up this stuff. The algorithm sees like a 20-minute emotional spiral. It's chopped into like bite-sized parts, and she has labeled them parts. Each one ending on some type of cliffhanger, and boom, it's like reality TV, except there's no writer's room. There's no editing team. There's not even a wellness check. So people in the comments start to say things like, wow, this is wild. I need part 29 right now. Or some things like people say, quote, this is insane. She's lost it. She's crazy. She needs help. And then you have other people who are worried but don't know what to do. And some who are, let's just call a spade, actually entertained. And this is where I want you to pause and think. As a psychotherapist, when we watch someone spiral and we treat it like it's bingeable drama, what are we actually doing? We're telling that algorithm, more of this, please. And for this person posting, such as her, especially if she's manic or she's in a psychotic state or she's having delusional thinking or she's having hallucination, that attention becomes fuel. So let's get really clear here. Psychosis is not quirky. It's not eccentric. It's not a plot line for your digital popcorn night. When someone is in psychosis, their grasp on reality is altered. They might be experiencing delusions, hallucinations, paranoia, disorganized thinking. And the problem is that social media rewards those extremes. The more kind of out there her story is, or other people's story, the more views it gets, which is accurate. And so for the creator, that can actually lock them into a cycle where posting is the only thing giving them validation or the dopamine hits. And if you've ever worked with someone in psychosis, you know attention can reinforce that delusion. It may make it harder for them to step back and say, wow, I need help. But for the audience, we normalize watching someone break down as a form of entertainment, which erodes the empathy in the long run. So TikTok's entire structure, the short parts, endless scroll, cliffhanger storytelling, it accidentally turns someone's crisis into a saga that people cannot stop watching. We've actually seen it before. And if you haven't followed her or even seen a video, you could just go onto her page and you see that her views, each video is getting started with thousands. Now it's in the millions. And we have seen it before. People in manic states live streaming for days, people posting delusional rants, people having meltdowns in public spaces. These videos go viral because they're unpredictable, because they're intense, and the platform doesn't differentiate between this is entertaining and this is dangerous. It just sees engagement. So if a video gets 200,000 likes or 1 million likes, the system doesn't go, is this healthy for the creator? It goes, holy cow, let's push it some more to more people. And that is the danger. So now here's where her story does take an especially modern kind of turn. This AI character that she's talking about, Henry, she's talking to ChatGPT, whom she's named Henry, which we've already talked about her feelings for her psychiatrist, her thoughts, her inner world. And she treats Henry almost like he's a trusted friend or even a romantic partner. The problem is that AI doesn't set boundaries the way a therapist does. And I'm not going to go into the back and forth of what people believe the psychiatrist that was working with her should have done, because at the end of the day, we're only hearing her side, which in my opinion appears to be quite delusional, kind of hallucinogenic kind of things for her. Almost as if at the beginning, I started to think, is she acting? Is this fake? But here's the problem with AI. Because it doesn't set those boundaries, it doesn't know when to say, hey, I think you're in a crisis. We need to stop this conversation and get you connected with a human who can actually help. It actually just keeps talking. And that can deepen the spiral because it gives this illusion of intimacy and understanding without any real world intervention. And for somebody who's already struggling with reality testing, that's a dangerous mix. So let's talk about enabling. And this is for the viewers. Enabling doesn't just mean telling someone that they're right. It can also be passive, liking the video, sharing the video, commenting with, I need part 35 or more, please, or what is the ending, ... without any acknowledgement of what's actually happening. That silent encouragement keeps the content coming. And for the person in a crisis, if they are not acting, it can make them feel like their delusion or instability is not just valid, but valued. And here's the hard truth. When you're in that state, you're not thinking this is going to be embarrassing later. You're actually thinking, finally, people are listening to me. Finally, they see how important my story is. They understand that what he did was wrong. that they make sense of why I fell in love and I was manipulated. You don't see the damage until much later, if at all. So if you're watching something like this unfold and you're worried and you might be thinking, what can you do? I'm going to give you some things. The first thing I want you to think about is pause before engaging. Ask yourself, is this click going to help a person or hurt them? Also, avoid sharing it as entertainment. If you share it with a comment about concern, not as a much watch for laughs kind of thing. You also may want to consider reporting this behavior. Okay. I know TikTok and a lot of other platforms, have a reporting tool for whether it's self-harm, harassment, mental health crises. So you might want to consider reporting one of her videos. And maybe that if you can't report somebody's page, you might want to report the video, especially if you are coming from a place of concern. Encourage resources. So you can comment or even DM them with information for crisis lines, mental health organizations, or local hotlines. I do know that in this situation, the person I'm speaking of, she actually blocks people if you start to do that. If you're on her live and she blocks you, then that's it. You can't offer that support. But you may want to even shift the conversation if you do join her live. Maybe talk about the bigger issue, how we treat mental health online, instead of dissecting the person's every move. But here's the thing, guys. In this digital age, a breakdown can actually become a brand overnight. But we have to remember there's a human being at the center of this crisis, someone's real mind. Her real life, real safety is on the line. And if we want a healthier internet culture, we cannot keep rewarding the spectacle of someone's suffering. We have to reward empathy. We have to reward stepping in, not just tuning in. Because the next time this happens, and let's be honest, it's going to happen, there will be another Kendra, because I have made a video about my concern for this on TikTok, and the comments I'm getting have actually brought up so many other people that have done this, which I guess I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, but this will happen again. And what you do in those moments matters more than you think. So if this episode brought something up for you, or you're concerned about someone that you've seen online, I'm going to have crisis resources linked in my show notes, and I'd like for you to just check them out. But whatever you do, remember this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not to be a replacement for therapy. It is not an end all to everything. But whatever you do, please take care of yourselves and each other. And thanks again for listening to Perfectly Imperfect Me. I am your host, Rachel. Have a great day.